Okay, what's your question?
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Is it working?
I don't know.
Yeah.
You're the tech guy. What's your question?
How do you feel about content?
Content?
Like making content?
Making it?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I do that. In regards to the internet, I find that there's a lot of content on the internet. So a part of me is like, why do I need to be heard in this sea that already exists? And if I do, it should be pretty good. Or else I'm just adding to the pollution.
I see what you mean. So you want to make...
I don't want to make...
Do you like it? Like, do
I like
do you
actively
want
making
to
content?
make content? Do you get up in the morning and go, I am going to make content today and I'm going to enjoy it?
I get up in the morning and... Well, this is now a very philosophical question because there's a lot of different reasons whether I get up or don't get up in the morning, depending on the day, depending on the mood.
All right, I'm talking about content.
I know.
I'm not talking
but then
about...
you said, why do you get up in the morning? And that's a completely different question.
Philosophical. No. I didn't say, why do you want to get up in the morning? I said, do you get up in the morning thinking, I want to make content for the internet so I can grow my brand? Or do you think of content as, shit, I have to make this thing so I can promote myself?
I think of it probably, it's a mix of both. Because the content that I create it without a particular vessel in mind. If I get an idea, I just want to follow through on that idea. And then later I'll realize, oh, that could be great for the internet. That would be a great live show. That could be a mini series one day. I don't have a particular vessel in mind when I create things, if that is your question. So do I wake up in the morning thinking I'm going to make internet content? No. I wake up in the morning being like, oh, I want to make something today, or I want to perform in something today.
It was a bit of a sarcastic question.
Oh,
it's
then
just
why?
Because it's to get the point across or the question across of, is it something that you enjoy doing, or is it something that you feel you have to do?
I enjoy the result. I'm always, and I'm like this when I write shows, and I think you've noticed this about me. I don't really enjoy writing shows. I don't enjoy making things, but I enjoy the performative aspect of it, and
Wait, don't enjoy making things?
It's a love-hate. When I have an idea and I'm really passionate about making something, I'll make it. Mm-hmm. But I saw a beautiful Instagram reel the other day, and it was a meme about producers when they're actually producing things, or creators when they're actually making things, and it's like the world is on fire. And then it's done, and it was sunshine and rainbows, and that's kind of how I feel, because I think I am a person whose brain is very active all the time, so when I'm in the middle of making something, there's a whole bunch of different things my brain is trying to do that it feels like I'm on fire. So the act of making something, I find that I'm very chaotic, and I'm like constantly trying to think and think and think and think down to like a molecule of a level.
I think that's common.
When it's done and I look back of what I've done, I'm very proud.
Yeah.
And I'm very much, even, I don't like saying like, oh, that was good or that was bad. I look at something and I think, wow, I put a shit ton of work into that. So therefore I'm proud of it. Because I know some people who put a shit ton of work into something and they're like, oh, it's bad, I'm disappointed in myself. But I don't really view my work that way. I look at it and I think, oh, I put so much time, so much energy into this. And as a result, it is something.
You're very confident.
And I'm proud that I've made something.
Yeah.
And I get excited when it's at the point where I get to share it with people. But when I'm at the point, because you've asked, why don't you share your creative process? I don't think anyone wants to see my creative process.
Well, therefore, it's not that I have a lineup of people going, please film Lauren's process. It's just it's a curious, I am always interested in hearing how other people make things.
Because I think if
most people's brains are most genuinely creative people are on the same page as you, as they feel like their brain is on fire. Nobody who makes amazing things is like, my brain is so organized. Yeah. And I know exactly what I'm going to... No. Everyone who has ever been an incredible creator of X, they're insane.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And one thing...
you gotta be a little bit insane. But again, it's just the concept of hearing how other people do it.
Yeah.
You know? That's why we interviewed One Yellow Rabbit. It's
but
just
I
like,
think
you know.
a part of that, and it's probably because I am still young, like I know how to do it, but I don't necessarily know how to communicate that yet.
How to communicate what?
Like how I make things. So I know what my process is, but if someone were to ask me, I could give them tools, but I wouldn't be able to give them a book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I haven't like refined it to the point where I could teach it to someone, because I'm kind of, I think of it as like a mutt of different practices, because I like so many different things, and I'm trying to make that into like one pedagogy, one practice, which for me, and this is one thing that I love about particularly like Canadian clowning and the methodology behind it, is that the guy who made it, his name's Pachenko, and people will call it Pachenko Clown. And my teachers, what I love about it is that they say, no, it's not Pachenko Clown, because you're not Pachenko. You're not that guy. And his whole practice
That's very deep.
was about finding something that works for you. And I really took that to heart and to root. So I know that a big part of my practice is that particular style of clown, but it's not Pachenko Clown. It's like whatever Lauren took away from it.
You guys
know
have,
what I'm saying?
I'm not done. Okay, sorry. No, continue.
But then it's also like my dance practice, my theater practice, but it's not a particular style of theater. It's not a particular style of dance. It's all the different things that I value and that I love, and I'm forming it into like whatever Lauren pedagogy I use to make shows. So when, for example, when people saw Swan in Australia, they're like, oh my God, what is this? I haven't seen anything like this before. It's like clown, but it's not like clown. And I was trying to explain, well, it's a mixture of Canadian clowning and also my ballet training and also my theater training. So it really isn't a style. And I think that's slightly my downfall in marketing, is that style is really important, but I don't really have that. I have a Lauren brand.
Well, you just did it.
Yeah.
You just explained it.
What were you going to say? It was clown
I don't know.
related.
You just went on one of the things I've noticed after talking with you and John and Mike and everyone included, specifically John, with this project that we're doing in the fall, you guys, meaning the world of clowns, professional clowns,
Canadian clowns in particular,
hilarious.
if you're talking about John.
No, but professional clowns in general, you guys have a real problem with labels. In the sense of no, not in the sense of like you guys have a problem like you are against labels. I mean, you have a real problem with figuring out what to call things. Like the Pachenko thing, like we had a whole conversation with John about like it's this, but it's not this, and I don't want to glorify it because it's actually you when you're making it, but I'm teaching it, but I want to glorify. So it's like, whereas if you go to a scientist, you're like, if a scientist discovers something, they're like, no, this is the Pachenko beetle because I'm Pachenko and I discovered it. This is my beetle. Where you guys don't have that. You guys are like, we're all fairies. And everyone who makes things how they make things. So like you guys don't have it's very hard to communicate what you guys do because you don't label it. I'm not saying you have a problem with labels as in the sense of you don't like labeling things, but like even we had a whole conversation with John about what are we going to call this, and he went on a whole it's not this and it's not that, and it is this and it was this, but I don't want to glorify that, so it's not. And then it's like, well, we still don't have a name for it. You know?
Well, I think the thing with that, and in this particular instance, it's surrounding an art form that someone who was a visionary created and died very young, but they weren't done creating it.
Yes.
So then, for John's point of view, I think it's just, for the history books, it's really hard because he wants to document history. And it's hard to document history of someone who's dead, didn't finish it, and then they kind of picked up the work, but they're not him.
Does he want to document history?
Yeah, he wants to document the history of it.
I thought he wants to document the technique.
Yeah, but with the technique comes the history of where it came from. Do you know what I'm saying?
Anyway,
so it's a complicated
going on a real
thing.
Tangent. I just asked you if you like making content or not.
I like making content that is inspired. I hate making content for views. I think that's soulless. If I make something and I love it and it gets 50 views, I do get pissed off.
I'm not even.
But if I make something.
Yeah, actually, hold on. Let's sit on that because maybe you don't go into the thought of I'm making this for views, which is great. I don't think you should. But when things don't work, you stew over that shit. You count individual numbers. You will notice things like if like you lose a follower and you're like, I lost one, and I'm like, it was probably a bot in Russia. It wasn't even a real person. You're going to, if you ever gain, or if we ever gain followers, to and even I'm not even talking about millions. I'm talking about tens of thousands or thousands. You're going to implode.
Probably.
You're not allowed to have any sort of statistical apps or anything that tracks anything because you're going to watch it like you're watching a fucking voting poll. Yeah. Like it doesn't. Yeah. I'm the opposite. I don't give a shit. I give a shit. I like when things work, but I don't know. I'm so bad at following the numbers. It's one of the reasons why because I almost pursued like a career down like making content. But then I realized after a while how much I don't care about the stats. And that's where like the money is in terms of like when people actually pay you to make stuff for them. They're like, yeah, but what about the views and the stats? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't want to read that shit, you know? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm glad I think you just did the thing that you said you can't do of describe your creative process and your style. So high five. Oh, we didn't high five at the beginning. Didn't. But I am trying. I'll give you context for this.
You're becoming a YouTuber.
We've talked about this. I hate the term YouTuber. I think the reason I don't like it is because it's one of the ways I started all this photography and videography, and essentially my whole career in this world is thanks to YouTube.
And didn't you delete it all?
Delete what?
Well, you said that you used to have an account that had a lot of following, and then you deleted it.
Oh, no, not YouTube. I had an Instagram account that I worked really hard on when I first started photography, when I was like 18 years old. And it didn't have like a lot of following. I think I had a couple thousand. I don't remember. But I had a couple thousand when 10,000 was a lot. Like back in like 2015, 2014, there was like, I don't actually know the stats. I'm just off the top of my head. There was like 10 people with 1 million followers. Like there wasn't that. Where now you'll just find like when we're watching funny videos online, we'll go to someone's page. It's some dad the guy who does art with pickles. That guy, he's got like 1 million. Like you come across random people all the time who are like, this guy's internet famous. Never heard of him. He has this super niche. You know what I'm getting at. So I was really into Instagram when Instagram was like kind of first kicking off. And I had my group of me and my photographer friends who would go out specifically to make stuff to take photos for Instagram. And so I had like a bit of a following when having a couple thousand was like, it's like, oh, this guy's got a couple thousand. Because the only way you got that many followers back then was by trying. Like you had to put effort into it because not that many people are on it. But that's not even what I meant. I just meant that like I started doing photography and video and all that kind of stuff because of YouTube, not because of me making it, but because of seeing other people do stuff. And I was like, oh, that looks kind of fun. I'm going to travel. So I got a camera, blah, blah, blah. And I did that. But I think the reason I hate the term YouTuber and why I don't want to ever be considered a YouTuber is because I think it's because when I think of YouTube and creating that kind of sense, I think of like the beginning of when I did all my stuff. And then I'm like, I just feel like a kid. I don't feel like an adult when I'm making a YouTube video. And maybe that's some sort of internal.
Yeah, that seems like an internal battle you're having.
It's probably an internal battle I'm having. But it's just I don't know. I went on a tangent and I kind of lost track of what I'm thinking. But It's just I feel, and I have always felt, and I've spent a lot of my professional life as an adult telling other people and telling businesses that they have to make content. They have to make content. And I still agree with that concept because it's a great way to put yourself out there, and people's businesses explode because of it sometimes, or they just gain extra whatever, viewers, customers, people, whatever. But I personally am a hypocrite because I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I don't like, I'm not a secretive person. Like, I'm a pretty open book. If people ask me things, I will gladly share pretty much whatever. But I'm not the kind of person to get home and be like, guess what I did today? You know, I like have to be, it has to be like pulled out of me a little bit. So this concept, we're ranting today, apparently. So this concept of me just like sharing without being asked is very difficult. I don't like this.
Why are we doing it?
I like it. I shouldn't say I don't like it. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. It's fun. I like talking about random stuff and concepts and Twilight. We haven't talked about Twilight yet. Well, I think this is going to be 2 episodes. It's fun. It really is fun. But at the same time, I would be so happy just never publicizing any of my thoughts. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
But you like publicizing your thoughts.
No, I don't. I'm a very private person. Which is why when you said you wanted to do this, I struggled with it for a bit. Because remember...
I felt like we needed to.
I know, but if you remember, we did our first podcast, I think, almost a year ago, and we never released it. Back in the old apartment.
I just came across it the other day, yeah.
And I really struggled with it because it was hard for me to talk about myself because it's not something I enjoy doing. I enjoy doing it with my friends. I don't really enjoy doing it publicly, but then also there's a part of me that realized, like, oh, this is public, but no one's really going to watch it. And if people do watch it, what if they do? And then that will come with time. But my friend Maddie, love her. She diagnosed me a little bit.
Your psychologist friend?
My psychologist
Your
friend.
criminal psychologist friend? What did she diagnose you with?
Well,
Are you
no,
going to murder me?
No,
We've been
she
watching
said
a lot
this.
of serial killer shows.
She said this a couple years ago, and it's really stuck with me, and I realized that's a really big habit I have. And I think she did this, like, very slyly. She didn't say, like, Lauren, you have this problem. She just kind of said it and waited for me to respond, and I've sat with it. And Mike also said it 2 years before her. My mentor, Mike.
What was it?
If you worry once, you worry twice. And it's kind of the thought process of if you have to worry about doing something, it's probably not worth doing because you worry once, you worry twice. That's like one thought process of it. And I thought about it like that for a really long time in regards to like, okay, I'm worried about doing this, therefore I shouldn't do it. But then I realized, okay, there's another way to take that. If you worry about doing something that shouldn't be a concern in the first place because there's not a problem with it until you make a problem. That's another train of thought. So I've just, and then there's another way to think about it. Whereas in school, and this is when my teacher told me this, I would worry about problems that didn't exist yet and therefore make new problems for myself.
That's anxiety. That's called anxiety. That's like the definition of anxiety.
So I find that like as a creative person or as someone who wants to make something, I do go into this period where I have a really good idea. I'm really excited about something, but before I make it, it's just a part of my process, unfortunately, of me as a person. I'll worry about it for a certain period of time that I'm not confident enough about to just start doing it. And I felt that with this project.
Wait, you mean worrying about the result or worrying about making it or like what
about
people are going to
everything
think?
in general. I'll worry about the way people will think. I'll worry about the result. I'll worry about how it affects my career like 25 years from now. And in that period, instead of just doing it, I'll worry about it for like a certain period of time. Whereas for this project, I think it was about like 6 months because we didn't really do it for 6 months. After the first time we did it.
I think it was in the beginning, it was just a concept. Because in the beginning, it was you and... First of all, I'll comment on Maddie's comment. I don't agree.
In regards to what?
Well, the worry once, worry twice thing. In the sense of if you worry once about it, it's not worth doing. That concept means that if you are scared to do something, if you're worried about something, it's not worth doing. But usually it's the things you are scared of doing and the things you are worried about doing that once you do them and get over that fear ends up being the thing that is successful.
Mm-hmm. And I will say that comment when she told it to me was when I was like making a decision about something. And I wasn't sure if it was the right decision or not. Yeah. And I was quite bent out of shape about it. And she's like, well, you seem pretty worried about it. Yeah. And you have all these reasons not to do it. And a couple reasons to do it. So it's more like weighing.
We should have Maddie on
We should have Maddie. Maddie would love to be on here. Oh, she's so smart. It scares me.
I like going back and forth with her because I know she's smart and almost certainly smarter than me. So I like being like, I wonder how long I can, like, it's like fighting someone Maddie. Who's definitely better at fighting with you than you. Smart. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna mentally joust with you and I'm gonna see how well I can do. So whenever she asks me, well, even at your house, she's asking me like questions about our relationship and stuff. I'm like trying to be sassy because I want to see how far I can push this person because she's supposed to be a professional pusher, you know. But anyways, so and I came across our first podcast.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons I kind of actually thought of this concept and why I thought about the content thing in general and doing this. And we're going to try, and your YouTube comment, I'm going to try to make a YouTube video over the next week because we're doing cool stuff and like a behind the scenes thing and everything. But the first podcast that we did, it was when we were just kind of starting to work together on stuff, right? Like that was like...
Yeah. I also
beginning
think it
of
was
last year.
You just decided you were going to move in as well.
Yeah, we were like, yeah. It was a whole moment of whatever. But the concept behind it was like we're doing this thing. You were specifically doing this thing that is traveling around the world trying to get people to come to your shows. But one of the biggest struggles was, well, when you go to Australia, nobody knows who you are because it's Australia. So it was a concept of like, okay, well, we need a way to make people in Australia learn who you are. So people come to your show. We need to start doing things. Well, how about a podcast? Because a podcast or any sort of content, YouTube content, Instagram, whatever, is a way to get people in any part of the world to know who you are. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that would further your touring career. And that's kind of the original concept. But that's, again, back to the beginning of this conversation of do you like making content or do you do it for the potential result of growing the thing that you're actually passionate about doing, which is performing. That's my point. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Okay.
That's my point. I'm not trying to get a point across. My point is that I've been thinking a lot about it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot because I take in quite a bit of content, specifically podcasts. It's one of the reasons I was like, let's start a podcast is because out of all the content that I watch, whether it's Netflix or Instagram, or I've been trying to spend less time on Instagram.
Yeah,
but
I've replaced Instagram with Farmville, and I don't think that was the right choice.
Well, it's and puzzles. It's a different evil, but I lost my train of thought. The thing that I appreciate most out of all those types of content. Did you just burp and blow it away?
No, I yawned and blew it away because I didn't want to go like and look like that.
You blew away a yawn.
I don't know.
Interesting. But the stuff that I appreciate most is podcasts because it to me it's like when you listen to a podcast, you can decide whether or not you genuinely like this person. And if you and a lot of the podcasts I listen to are comedians. And when I find the podcasts I like, because I listen to them and I determine that I like this person as a presenter, as a speaker, or whatever, if they come to where I am, I might go see them. Mm-hmm. But I don't know anybody on Instagram who I would pay a ticket to go see a show.
Old God.
Because it's...
Old God?
But Old God makes some of the most quality
content.
Fucking crazy. But he
and
makes...
he stopped.
What?
He stopped making content. He did it. I feel like he did it to help his Edinburgh run, and then he realized, unfortunately,
the fame got too big. He got like 60,000. What is he at? He's had a lot of followers.
So Old God is a Clown, who I've been following, I think for 3 or 2 years, because I saw his show in 2023 in Edmonton, and it's just this ridiculous Buffon clown show, and Buffon is more of like a South Park of a clown kind of thing. Like, they say things to initially like provoke and attack audience members in a really funny way, but it's on the line. So it's a very dangerous type of comedy to do in PC culture right now. But in my opinion, I think he does it really well, but it's for a very particular type of audience. And I think he did a really smart thing of creating online content, and he did it so well. It's so good. If you look it up, it's so good. I'm a big fan of his. But it looks like, just from looking when he started to make stuff to when he stopped, that he did it for his Edinburgh Fringe run. But I talked to him during the Edinburgh Festival, and it didn't help him fill seats. But also, it's so hard to make online content because you don't know where those viewers are. And I guarantee you, because he's an artist in the States, most of his viewers are probably
and it's not like...
So those people won't be at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
And I've said this to you multiple times, and I think it's you and the same thing for all the other people who do the Fringe circuit or tour internationally. You guys do things backwards, in the sense of most artists, whether it's a band or a comedian or any sort of performing thing, usually you build a fan base in a spot and then you slowly like expand, right? You do the opposite, where you toured internationally and you don't stay in one spot long enough to build a fan base. So by the time you do 10 shows in Adelaide or whatever, and then you leave. And then and I remember because then in the back of my mind, when we would have conversations with groups of people in those Fringe festivals, my marketing brain was turning on, because we were talking about filling seats and how a lot of you are having trouble, and I didn't say anything because I was very new to the whole situation. I didn't really know what I was doing, but in the back of my brain, I'm like, well, yeah, nobody knows who any of you are, because you all live in North America, and then you show up to the other side of the world, and you're like, how come nobody knows who I am?
Well, most of them are
and
from the UK.
It doesn't.
Not America, but
it doesn't matter. Even if we go to the next province over, it's nobody knows who you are. It's of course it's going to be hard. Hence, content. And that's the point of content, is that it expands the reach of who you should be able to reach. There's that quote of tend to the part of the garden you can touch, right? You've heard that?
No.
You don't heard that?
I know similar quotes, so work with what you got.
The internet kiboshes that quote, because now the whole freaking world is your garden. Or it can be, if you do this well. It's hard to do well. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to do well. Anyways, I don't know. I just thought it would be a good... I just wanted to see what your opinion was on it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even really I wasn't really after anything specific.
No, you just want to talk about content. And I think my final answer for today, because I know my thoughts change all the time.
Yeah, they do.
But I enjoy making content if I'm passionate about it. I really struggle to make content for views or for followers or for things. Or branding myself in a particular way, because I know that is helpful for algorithms and internet things, because that's just not the type of person I am. I get really excited about doing everything all the time. There was a phase where I was modeling really extremely, and I enjoyed that for a period of time, and then I got into improv really hard, and then clown, and then for a long time I wanted to be an actor at Stratford, and it's still a part of me still wants to do that.
What's a Stratford?
Stratford is the biggest theater company in Canada. It's the most highbrow theater company you can get hired to work for. So in Canada, if you have Stratford on your resume, it's the Oscars of theater in Canada.
I don't think you would like that.
I think I'd like to do a show there.
Yeah,
like a singular
we have lots
show
of
there.
conversations about this.
There's a lot of things that I would love to
creative
do.
topic.
I know, like I would love to be in TV. I would love to be in a film. The
I
couple
don't think you
films that I've
would.
done,
I
I
disagree.
didn't enjoy because of the politics involved. And I wasn't even a part of the politics. I was just like seeing all of them. And I was like, wow, these people all really don't like each other.
I think, actually, I don't need to do this. I was about to philosophically and psychologically analyze you, but I don't think. Because we talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
About you wanting to do those things.
I love doing everything. And
should I do it for the sake of content?
Sure.
Do you want me to publicly analyze you?
Well, if I don't like it, we'll bleep it out.
That's true. I think you like the idea of doing movies and working at Stratford and all those things. I think you would get in there for 2 days and you would hate it, because all of those things aren't you creating things. It's other people. Some highbrow bigwig dude got hired to make something, and you're going to do what they're telling you to do, whether it's performing or singing or making content or whatever, and you don't get a say. And I don't think you like that. And I think you don't like that because you're so used to making the thing and doing the thing that you want to do that everything I've seen you be a part of that you didn't make, you had problems with. I think that kind of stuff is like joining the military. You don't ask questions. You're hired to act or to do the thing. It's act in a way, and an actor, we're not getting many listeners, so probably not. But if an actor did listen to this, they might disagree, and you might disagree with me. Acting is a skill set, and it's a very impressive skill set when people are very good at it. It's not really creativity. You're using your skill set, a technique, to realize the creative process of somebody else. And it is creative in the sense of you're creating something. You are creating that persona and that emotion and all that kind of stuff. But you're not creating the message of whatever it is you're performing. You're not creating the intended emotion, you're delivering it.
This is my opinion.
Okay.
From like my training and the work that I've done as specifically an actor and not someone who makes their own stuff. But in part, yeah, you're correct. But the creative aspect for acting comes into, so for example, Shakespeare's been done so many different times and everybody wants to do their own version. So the creativity of it, for example, if you're playing Juliet, if you're auditioning as a director, a role for Juliet, you have a very specific, usually image in mind of what you want. Mm-hmm. And the creativity of the actor is, how do I want to play the role of Juliet to convince this director that I am the best for this role? Because everyone's going to do that monologue completely differently. Yeah. So it's being able to put your creative spin on how you think the character will be portrayed confidently, and to the point where you might even change the director's mind, being like, I wasn't looking for anything like this, but now I'm going to direct it the way that you've performed it because you've convinced me.
That's fair.
You know?
But
that's where the creativity aspect comes into, because anyone can play any role. Yeah. I truly believe that. Anyone can play any role. Well, I'm talking about like Shakespeare and stuff like that right now. Like in regards to like going up to a Shakespeare audition.
Like Dustin playing Thor. I was like,
Well, that could be a different universe, and that's like a creative choice.
I think that would be okay, anyways.
But I'm just saying, like, the whole point, at least from my acting training, is the goal was convince the director that you're the right person for this role. Mm-hmm. And then when you work with the director, you have to be the easiest person in the world to work with. Yeah. And like, you have to be malleable to whatever their vision is. And to answer your question about your diagnosis of me,
I wouldn't say it was an analysis.
An analysis of me.
I can't diagnose people. I'm not Maddie. I don't have any certificates.
I'm very particular about my own shows, and you're correct. Whereas I really struggle because when someone sees the word director in a program, you think that it's their vision. And I'm very clear when I hire directors that this isn't your vision. You're helping me with my vision. And if you want the title of director because I recognize I need an outside eye, that's fine. I have no pride in that. But I need you to understand that I'm hiring you to help me with what I'm trying to say. And you're not manipulating that in any way. So, yeah, you're right in that regards too. When I make something from all different angles. And I'm like that with all aspects.
So you don't think that if you got into, let's say you got into something that is like a big show, like massive show. How long do those kind of shows usually rehearse for? Like a while, right?
Yeah.
Like months?
So it's usually, well, it depends. So for example, when I was a part of like a big show, like an equity theater show, the rehearsal process was a month and a half.
Okay.
And then the run was a month. So
okay,
it
so
was
2.5 months.
Yeah.
2.5 months. Do you think as you as a human being, or maybe you can answer this because you just said you did you, or do you think you would enjoy 2.5 months of you aren't creating, you are doing our creation as we tell you to do it?
It would depend on the role. And this is why I've stopped actively auditioning for everything. Because now I'm very, very particular about auditioning for things because I'm starting to realize what's worth investing my time in regards to quality of life. Because some actors, they get joy out of playing everything. I'm like that to an extent, but now that I know that I can make my own stuff and I can do my own stuff as an option, I'm like, okay, I would have less joy in playing everything because I really like playing my own stuff. So now it would have to be a role that I would be really excited to play.
Yeah.
Or I really enjoy the director and I've worked with them, or I've heard good things about them and I want to work with the director, or it's a company that I really admire and respect.
Yeah.
So that's why whenever One Yellow Rabbit does something and they're like, hey, do you want to like be a part of this project? I'll be like, yeah, I love that. That sounds really cool. That sounds like an investment of my time. Because, for example, for the One Yellow Rabbit shows that I've done as a part of their ensemble, those shows were always really cool because they were written on the spot. They weren't written by me, but they were written for me. And that was always a huge honor to me. It was like, wow. So this character is written for me. This is really cool. And it's a very different style of...
But being written for and being placed into a already written position is a very different thing.
So there's a few roles, like I would jump at the opportunity to be directed in The Glass Menagerie, which is a classic play that you probably have no idea what that is.
I don't know what that is.
I would like jump at the opportunity to be in 12th Night.
I don't even know what menagerie means.
Menagerie is like it's another word for like garden or like stained glass or like a collection of things. I would jump at the opportunity to be in Machinelle. There's a certain amount of things that I would jump at the opportunity to do. But for example, if someone
is so niche.
It is. It's very niche.
It's so niche.
But it's also niche in Canada. For example, if you go to the UK, it's massive there. So also...
But massive in compared to Canada.
Massive in general. I think massive compared to North America, because I think you could argue that it's on like the scale of Broadway. But in regards to the people in the UK, just the average person, if you talk to them on the street, most of them would say, I go out to see theater. Whereas that's not... Yeah. Whereas that's not the case in Canada.
Where did you get these numbers? Where did you do this study?
Where did I do this study?
Yeah.
From all the people.
The average person?
The average person. And I guess that's the people who I talk to, the people who I see.
You're in a bubble of theater. I'm talking, let's just go walk down a street in London.
Google it. I'm doing this based off of my belief, but I believe that it's true that the average person in the UK would see theater compared to anyone in North America.
What would I even look up for this? How many people?
What's the statistic of?
What percentage of, is it a Londoner?
Yeah.
What percentage of London is white.
C's live performance or live theater.
Londoner. What percentage of Londoner regularly
C's theater.
sees theater? Also, they're not going to this is just going to be a... Londoners almost twice as likely as other UK residents to attend the theater frequently, with 12% seeing a show every 2 to 3 months. More broadly across the UK population, only 1% attend weekly and 4% monthly.
Say in compared to North America. I'm just curious.
Well, that's a different question. Approximately 40% of all West End theater goers live in Greater London. London residents who are already theater goers average a higher attendance rate of 9.2 visits per year. How many? Well, you can't say America. You got to say like New York, because America includes Montana. They're not going. You know what I mean? They're not going to see
London versus New York in regards to most regularly
London
populated
versus
theater.
New York.
Theater goers statistics.
Theater goer statistics. We're really testing Google's statistic ability with these questions. London's West End is currently outperforming New York's Broadway in theater attendance, selling millions more tickets in 2024, around 17.1 million versus Broadway's 12.3 million. So Broadway is doing about 2/3 what West End is doing.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. I believe that. But yeah, it's not the general population of anywhere isn't going to theater as much as you would go to like in the UK, because we're talking about UK, to like go see like a football game.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to say. It's super niche.
Well, I guess they also have a higher population, so it just seems like more people to me.
In London.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also,
anyways,
I think unfortunately Broadway's taking a really big hit right now, because I know like 5 people personally who are planning to go to New York and canceled because of just the political situation right now. Like the amount of Canadians I know who just won't go to the States because of all the things going on.
All
right
the
now.
things. Yeah, we don't need to get political.
No.
Well, should we?
No.
You want to talk shit about Trump?
I haven't done enough research. Okay, I just see the things and then I get sad and then I stop looking at the things.
Do. How many people who talk shit about politics actually know what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Very little.
And I don't like talking shit when I haven't done my research.
Yeah.
Well,
it's kind of fun sometimes.
No.
As long as people know, or as long as we know that I actually don't know what I'm talking about and you don't know, in that context, it's fun. Because then you're just kind of making
because
stuff
in
up.
this context, in regards to statistics in theater, I wanted to know, and I felt like I had a belief in knowing, so I was okay in talking about it. But did I know the hard evidence? No, but now we do.
No.
And I was right.
Google AI overview proved you wrong.
No, it said that I was right. It said what I said.
The last thing, you said that most people in London, it was 1 to 4%.
But their population is bigger than Canada, so...
We're going to wrap this up because we're going to do another episode right after this.
Are we?
Yes, because we're going to be gone for 2 weeks. And
why are we going to be gone?
We're going to be... we're going to be gone for 2 weeks, and we are... One of the things that is going to get people in Adelaide to know who you are because of this podcast is if we have to... Or because we are... Fuck.
You're trying so hard. It's cute.
One of the things that's going to make this podcast successful so people in Adelaide know who you are is consistency, and we have not been consistent.
No.
So tell the people, the few that watch this, why we're going to Calgary, and then we're going to stop it, and we're going to just restart it, and we're going to talk about Twilight.
Great. Next week,
remember our presenting. Well, your knees are in front of your face. I can't even see your mouth. Sit up straight. Present yourself. Pretend you're on a stage. We've gone over this. Yeah,
I know.
Good job.
Okay,
remember the mic. Remember the mic.
I'm looking at the mic. It looks fine.
And look down the lens. I'm gonna scooch over a little bit so you can.
Oh my gosh! Ah! I always have to do that. It's my little thing.
Is that your branding?
I think so. I just don't like looking at myself.
Well,
I
don't
struggle
look in
with
the
it.
lens, not
Okay.
at the monitor.
Okay. So next week from January 15th to 18th, we will be at the High Performance Rodeo performing Swan at the Vertigo Theater. Very excited. It's my first time performing this show at home, which is crazy to me. So yeah, if you were once my music teacher, my drama teacher, my English teacher, my dance teachers, you have a chance to see what I grew up to be. You might like it. You might have some questions, or you might be like, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, see you then.
That's it.
That's it. That's all I gotta say.
Ah, my knees!